everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is D-Free, and here today we have some information about what we're getting on Dragon Ball Legends soon. So this is pretty cool, including a new Zenkai, a new raid, a couple new banners, things like that. So if you guys enjoy this video, if this is your first time on the channel, we'd love to have you stick around and subscribe. We do this type of thing every week where we go over the information and the characters and stuff like that. Also, we do summons and stuff like that, so definitely stay tuned later on tonight as well for gameplay for the upcoming Zenkai. So just going ahead and get started here. So we have Snake Way returning once again. Love to see it. It's a pretty generous event for the Z Power, so obviously excited about that. So speaking of new stuff, I don't know like what this is really in particular, like if this is going to be like, okay, let's just say this. I'm pretty sure it's going to be what I would expect it to be, right? With the missions, we unlock it with CC, all that stuff, right? I didn't want to like throw out any other alternatives. I feel like this is just kind of just what this is, right? So that being said, it's cool nonetheless if you're looking to unlock it, whatever the case is. Clear special element missions to get loads of upgrade items. Actually, I think this is a rerun of the one we had initially, right? Something like that. Anyways, whatever. That's here. It's kind of whatever. So they are running another raid event. So raid events are incredibly good in the game. Like this is one of the raids in general are one of the best things they actually even implemented in terms of like PvE type of content, I guess, right? But it's one of the things you definitely want to make sure you're playing. And wouldn't you know it, this one is themed Super Saiyan 3 versus Majin Buu. And Majin Buu is actually the EX one, whatever. But Goku is a battle bonus character. I wonder why. I wonder why. Is it because maybe he's getting a Zenkai? Yes, Goku is getting a Zenkai this week after maintenance ends in a couple of hours at the time of the recording. We're going to go over his information. We're going to come back to that, though. The next thing I want to kind of talk about briefly here is Super Masters Pack. So, this is interesting. Off the top, the only units that are on this image that are not on like every other banner nowadays, it feels like, are Kefla and Vegito. They're actually the odd mans. I want to say odd man out, but like they're the ones that have kind of been added into more or less what we were used to seeing like on the weekend banner or whatever. These other characters always kind of make their ways on like these free multis, things, whatever, right? But those two are here, and that's pretty interesting to see, considering how good they still are actually at this point, especially Kefla. Now, here's the deal. Is this going to be handled in the same way as Masters Pack 1 through 3? No idea. There's no idea. There's no way to quantify that. I am going to assume that it will be, but just to refresh everybody's memory, Masters Pack 1 through 3 did not start off being free banners where you use tickets and stuff. They started off being CC-based banners and then changed. So keep that in mind. So if this is going to be handled that way, we're not going to know anytime soon until it's done, basically. So just think about that. Be aware of that. But this also on top of like the fact we got the Masters Pack Z or whatever, like that's been out for a while, that needs to be updated, by the way. They haven't updated it since like forever. It does kind of make me think that Masters Pack 4 just isn't going to be a thing. And they also seemingly are done with Ultra Space Time Rushes in favor of the All-Star summons as well now. So I don't really know what the plan is for the rest of those characters. This might just be their end game for Masters Pack, and they might just move on. I don't know. We'll see what happens in a few months, right? But Masters Pack is here, and that is the thing that's coming out. There are no new equips, but Goku's info. We do have Goku's info, so we're going to go over it. Again, Zenkai 7 Purple Goku. Here we go. So plus 30% of damage inflicted when the character enters the battlefield. I need to actually get his main ability really quick. I totally forgot about that. Let me go ahead and grab the main ability here. And voila, we are back for the main ability. So draws the ultimate, Neo Super Dragon Fist, and restores 30 ki and gives a 30% damage inflicted buff for 30 counts. That's really all he needed with that. That's exciting. All right, you need 25 counts to use it. Pretty normal stuff there. Unique ability 1, plus 30% of damage inflicted when this character enters the battlefield. And that cannot be stacked, by the way. So do keep that in mind. But nonetheless, that's good because it allows for him to have early game output. So I'm excited about that. Applies the following effects to self according to the number of counts elapsed from the battle start. So 15 counts have elapsed, you get 30% more damage, can't be canceled. After 30 counts elapse, you get 30% ki recovery, which can't be canceled. And after 40 counts, you get 30% strike damage inflicted, which can't be canceled. So long story short, that guy is really trying to make his way to the end portion of the match and make it just far into the match. That is one thing you want to make sure that you keep in mind when it comes to the Goku. So let's move on to the unique ability number 2. Plus 40% to strike damage inflicted versus regen, can't be canceled. and reduces damage received from regen characters by 15%, can't be canceled. Also, gain attribute upgrade, minus 20% to enemy sustained damage cut effects, cannot be canceled. Okay, so that last part's pretty good. The first two parts of that are kind of just obviously very matchup dependent. And if he had come out like 2 months ago where Regen was the only team you saw for a little bit there, sure. But they're kind of dying down a little bit now. They're obviously still an incredibly good team. They haven't been buffed since their last Zenkai, which is incredibly good. But, you know, the cycle of units in this game is pretty quick, right? That being said, still versus Regen as a pivot option for the Saiyan team, that's going to be incredible. So definitely keep that in mind. 20% enemy stand damage cut effect. Okay, not bad. So he's gonna. None of those can be canceled either. So I feel like they could have done a little more with that unique, but it is what it is. I'm looking for him to pick up his own ability to tank. Right? He doesn't really have many ways to tank so far. So I'm looking for him to pick up some of that. So let's actually go back and check out the other abilities he has here. Applies the following effects itself when he enters the battlefield. He restores ki and gets 50% ki recovery for 15 counts. That's at Zenkai 3. So automatically allowing him to restore ki. That's the thing that they do a lot with Goku units. Goku units a lot of the time can do that, where they just restore ki for entering the battlefield, even if they don't always draw like a card or whatever. Okay, but what that does mean is that he's going to be incredibly good off a switch from the shoeless Saiyan Saga Goku who draws a card on switch out. So the last unique ability here applies the following effects itself when this character enters the battlefield. If a Saiyan battle member other than this character is in your party, draw a strike. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I was like, man, he needs to draw a card or something. He's still going to be good with that Saiyan Saga Goku, but this is incredible. On a Saiyan team, he draws a card, and he picks up tanking, 25% for 20 counts. So he's going to be a very, very effective damage-dealing last man standing type of option. But he's not going to be able to tank at all towards the end of that match, but you really don't want to get to that point anyway. Realistically, after 40 counts, you get damage inflicted for entering the battlefield, which doesn't have a timer count on it, just 30%. You get another 15. After 15 counts, you get another 30% damage. You get 30% ki recovery and then 30% strike damage. So he's got a lot of ki recovery. I don't think he's actually missing as a melee unit is draw speed, right? The second unique is still whatever. Like I'm not a fan of that, but the other uniques are fine. Unique 3, the one that restores ki and gives ki recovery, kind of feels a little bit redundant to me, just because the key's fine, but I feel like he could have done more than just get another bonus on ki recovery, right? Especially because he also restores ki with his main. Like especially he doesn't have card draw speed. It just feels like he could have gotten a little more with that. But regardless, though, he's still going to do outstanding damage. Let's take a look at what the rest of what he does is. So, massive impact damage, inflicts the downgrade, plus 20% of strike damage received. Green card, plus 30% of strike damage inflicted, and minus 5 to strike art's cost. See, he's screaming, oh, I need draw speed. He has card costs down. He has all these damage buffs. He has ki restoration speed and ki restoration in general. He is screaming, I need draw speed. Deals massive impact damage with the Neo Super Dragon Fist. Inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade minus 100% to health restoration for 60 counts. 25% chance to faint. Zenkai ability is purple Saiyans as expected, with a strike attack and strike defense 40% split, and then blast stats being at 35% at Zenkai 7. So, okay, yeah, he's incredibly good, I think. I think his output is going to be super powerful. The thing about him, though, is that you have to remember that going forward, he's going to always be good as well, because he also has a Z ability that double buffs Saiyans, right? Strike attack and blast defense. He's going to always be an option for that team, even if he's not a fighter you take in. You know, realistically looking at him on paper, right? Obviously, practical use is going to be a little different. He doesn't seem to be oppressive or overwhelming like characters like Gohan or like Android 18, right? Who's going to just decimate this guy, but obviously that's type advantage, whatever. But he seems like he's enough. He's good enough, right? So I'm excited about this. Being as SS3 is one of my favorite forms in the series, I'm excited about this. I'm excited to test him out, and I want to see what he can do, man. And like I was saying, even if he doesn't become a unit that a year from now you're using in battles, the combination of his Z ability and Zenkai ability are just incredibly powerful for any Saiyan-based team. And again, picking up a purple fighter for this team is going to be incredible for Saiyans overall. Last thing I want to say is I did come across another screenshot from Renzi for the events. The Cell events are being reran, so do keep that in mind. So that's pretty much everything. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Hit the subscribe, and let me know what you guys think. Are you excited? Are you guys going to be Zenkai 7ing him? Let me know. Have an awesome day, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Again, tune in tonight for showcases and all that stuff.